IGN News, along with Netflix, released a big press release last night, hyping up, I guess it's probably the go home hyping up for the War for Cybertron Transformers Netflix Siege series. And it was a huge press release. There was tons of information in it, as well as a new trailer. Now, I just want to warn in advance, and I said this on my Twitter too, if you want to go into this series not knowing much in terms of big reveals, I find that this latest trailer that they put out really spoils a lot of the big reveals and twists and turns in the series. When you have something that's 6 episodes with only 22 minutes, and you're putting out all these trailers showing all kinds of footage, you're not going to have much left to give fans to be excited about. It's kind of like how back in the day, I remember I'd be so excited to see a movie that I'd want to see every single trailer in relation to it. And then by the time you go to see that 1 hour and 45-minute movie, you've practically seen every scene in bits and pieces through the trailers, especially the big catch scenes that are put into those trailers to make you want to go see the movie. So it's kind of the same thing that's happening here. In this trailer specifically that Netflix put out, it's a lot of spoilers. So if you want to go into this and be surprised or see all the hooks and everything, avoid this latest trailer, and probably shouldn't be listening to this segment either, because I'm going to go deep into the press release, which also kind of has some spoilers in it and some new information. So just a warning there in advance. So let's get into that. So in the press release, they talked about what is going to be the overall story, obviously our release date and all kinds of stuff, as well as they finally gave us the full list of actors and the characters that they play. And that kind of gives us a little bit also of a list of who's going to be in it. And there's some spoilers in it too, because of some actors that are portraying certain characters that we didn't know that were going to be in it, that are the big hook and surprises. So that's also going to be a little bit of a spoiler that I'm going to be covering here. We'll just go through it in parts. So first, when it comes to the characters that will be in it due to voice acting, there could be stuff in the background and they just won't have lines, and they might be in the series. But in terms of characters that are in the series that will have lines, I'll do it backwards because the Autobot one is the one where it has the big spoilers. So first you have Decepticons, you have Megatron, Soundwave, Starscream, Skywarp, and Shockwave. Very thin Decepticon ranking. I'm surprised that it's like this list only has 5 characters. But that being said, there's another category that might fall into that, but that being said, there's probably going to be a lot of generics in the background. I'm surprised that Skywarp and Starscream are there, but no Thundercracker. Maybe Thundercracker is there, it's just, he just doesn't have lines. Same way how, Soundwave's there, maybe just his cassette guys just don't have lines. Maybe that, Reflector and all that kind of stuff too, maybe they just don't have lines. The next category is miscellanea, traders, and or unknowns. Impactor, Mirage, and Ultra Magnus. Again, we already seen the Decepticon Mirage toy. We already know there's some dubious stuff going on with Ultra Magnus, and Impactor is also one of those half in, half out kind of things too. And that's in a different category in itself. So that could fall into the Decepticon category to kind of pad it out from the original 5 guys that we have listed here. Now the Autobots. Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Elita 1, RC, Ratchet, Jetfire, Red Alert, Wheeljack, Ironhide, Cliffjumper, Sideswipe, Teletran 1, and the big reveal, that's actually the big hook at the end of the last few episodes, according to the trailer at least, Omega Supreme. One thing I want to even mention before Omega Supreme, is interesting that Cliffjumper is there. I wonder what he's going to turn into. Is he just going to be like some kind of Cybertronian version of himself, or are they going to use his EarthRise design? That's interesting to see him there. But Omega Supreme, and again, the trailer really spoils it, where it's like, oh, big reveal, Omega Supreme. He's going to probably be the turning point here, if anything. And so again, if you already watched the trailer, you already know what's going on here. So they gave also a little bit of a plot press release here, and I'll read it out. Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Siege begins in the final hours of the devastating civil war between the Autobots and the Decepticons. The war has torn apart their home planet of Cybertron and is at a tipping point. Two leaders, Optimus Prime and Megatron, both want to save their world and unify their people, but on their own terms. In an attempt to end the conflict, Megatron is forced to consider using the Allspark, the source of all life and power on Cybertron, to reformat the Autobots, thus unifying Cybertron. Outnumbered, outgunned, and under siege, the battle-weary Autobots orchestrate a desperate series of counterattacks on a mission that, if everything somehow goes right, will end in an unthinkable choice: kill their planet in order to save it. Now, I see that they're kind of merging a whole bunch of ideas from the War for Cybertron video games, the Michael Bay movie kind of continuity. So we have the Allspark. The Allspark, yet again, is a thing. It's some kind of central power source of Cybertron that really only has been a creation in recent because of the Michael Bay movies. And they're kind of using this as, okay, so Megatron's going to use it to reformat the Autobots into Decepticons, or I guess, like, you know, brainwash them. It's kind of like the Robo Smasher, which was an old idea from the G1 cartoon. Maybe, you know, then it plays up to this thing where it's like, if they get rid of the Allspark, it saves them, but then it, you know, makes it doom Cybertron. That's going more towards that Michael Bay movie verse. You know, maybe he's going to shoot, you know, the Allspark into space. It's going to end up on Earth. We're getting that whole Michael Bay movie kind of storytelling platform. That's what it seems like. They go on to say here that there's going to be more details regarding Chapter 2, a.k.a. Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy EarthRise. So now we have 100% a confirmed name, not just a guess because of the latest toy line that we have. And Chapter 3, more information will be coming soon. Netflix will be debuting this series July 30th, 2020, in all languages, on all regions of Netflix, 6 episodes, 22 minutes an episode. So, that's what we got going here. That's what all the hubbub is about. It looks good. But again, I've said this before and I said it again, I'll keep my reservations for when I actually see it. I feel that Rooster Teeth has kind of been hot or cold with their stuff. Some stuff is really good. Some stuff isn't really good. Some stuff is good for what it is. And I feel like sometimes as Transformer fans, I don't want to say we're spoiled, but we've gotten such good, well-written CG stuff in the past that everything is almost measured by that. And then we look back and, you know, like, I mean, just going as far back as Beast Wars, and, you know, you go back and you rewatch that, and it puts such a high expectation, and even for those that love Transformers Prime, that we really expect a lot from our Transformers series, especially now that we have one that's based on Cybertron, no human characters, no distractions of that, making them the primary focus. We have something that's just about the robots in the war, and the concern that people have is, will this platform that this series is being done through that company, through Netflix, through a limited 6 episodes on a 22-minute span, will that be a proper and successful platform in order to tell this story properly? Will the voice actors be able to pull it off? Because we've learned recently that the process used for voice acting is not a group voice acting session, the pre-dub process. It's the after-dub process, which the voice actors are brought in individually and they record their lines. So the chemistry there is hit or miss. Again, I'm not saying this one will be. I'm just saying that in general, from previous stuff that I've seen in the past that use that process, specifically anime and a lot of stuff like that, sometimes, you know, the magic isn't there. It really is. David Kay, you know, who was Beast Wars Megatron and did Beast Wars Megatron for 5 seasons, 3 Beast Wars, 2 Beast Machines, and did an incredible job voicing a Megatron character, and then he would go on to do the dubs for Armada, Energon, and Cybertron, and he even said the restrictiveness of the dub process, even though he was technically in a lot of ways playing the same character, although a little different because it's different kind of Megatrons, but playing the same character, and how different it was for him and how the final product really was different, despite the fact that it was the same talented voice actor and the same character, more or less. And that always concerns me. So I really hope for the best. Again, July 30th, we'll finally have our answer, and I'll do a full-blown review of it to give you guys my opinion on what I think of it. I mean, I liked Cyberverse. Like I've said before, its biggest flaw was it was being too short, and because of its 10-minute runtime, hurt the story in a long run. And, Rescue Bots just ended. Rescue Bots just called it quits. They're done, Rescue Bots Academy. So this is going to be our primary Transformer fiction in animation moving forward until we get some more information about the movies in the future. So this is going to be our Transformer material, animation-wise and television-wise. So we're all, fingers crossed, hoping that this is going to be something really good. And if this is really good, there could be more excitement going into EarthRise, and then whatever the third one will be called, which probably is going to be tied to whatever the third toy series will be called, which makes sense why we don't know the name of it currently. But yeah, let me know what you think about this. Are you excited? And the next time you hear my voice, hopefully it'll be a review about this, and we could really pick apart and see how good this series really is.